I've not used this before, so I'm just trying it out.
Hey man, it's been too long since we sat down and that just feels wrong. Allow me to give my head a shake, open my eyes and fix a mistake. Do you wanna come over, just like the old times? We'll hit pause and then hit a rewind. You wanna come over, just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Hey buddy, no strangers here. These times I hold them dear. My door's open, so come on in. This was great, let's do it again. Do you wanna come over, just like the old times? We'll hit pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over, just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Do you wanna come over, just like the old times? We'll hit pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over, just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly.
Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Full force.
That was a cool
Nate.
intro, by the way.
Oh, thanks. My buddy Adam from Go Figure did that intro for me, and he's the
Very
one
cool.
playing the music. I don't know if he did all the instruments. You'll have to let us know in the comments if you did. Nate, my co-host. Excuse me, I'm getting all choked up because we haven't had a guest before. I mean, we've had
No.
people, we've had friends, but we haven't had anyone famous.
Oh.
More famous
Well,
than
thank
our
you guys
first
so much
guest.
for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And if I'm coughing at all or my voice sounds a little raspy at all, excuse that. I'm on the tail end of a bit of a cold that I've had this week. So just a heads up there.
Right. That is all good, my friend. Well, Nate, you want to introduce our guest? You're thinking,
this
who is
Kyle
this guy?
Petchock. He, yeah. As my understanding, he's an artist. He's done some artwork for was it a GI Joe? Was it a card game?
Yeah, the G.I. Joe
cool,
games
cool.
from Renegade Game Studios.
Well,
Cool.
I know absolutely nothing about the game, but I do know something about G.I. Joe, and I don't know much about art, but I know what I like, and your stuff is top notch.
Thank you very
Nate
much.
knows a little bit about G.I. Joe, but he's learning more and more. In fact, this show was built around the idea that Nate doesn't know anything about G.I. Joe, and we were showing him G.I. Joe as we went along. Next to you, Kyle, is our buddy Gaz, who, as far as we're aware, is an expert in everything.
Mhm.
Maybe.
All right, and this show is called Oh Ring a Bell.
It's time for everyone's favorite educational program, Oh, Ring a Bell!
Yay!
Yay! All right. So, Kyle, I found your stuff on the internet. I've never played the game. I'm sure the game is great. I'm sure it's filled with all sorts of great fun things. I just don't know anything about it. If you know anything about it, maybe you could give us a rundown on what the game is. But more importantly, we want to talk about the excellent art that you have kindly shared with us today. Are you familiar with the game, or were you just brought on board as the top #1 artist for G.I. Joe to do it?
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm the top #1 artist, but to answer your first question, yes, I am just one of the artists on the games. I actually don't know too much about the gameplay specifically. I really have just done the artwork and some of the box covers and a lot of art that appears on the cards in the actual gameplay.
Yeah, that's fun. That's all good. We're again, if you are the creator of the game and we're sitting here going, we don't know how to play it, we're sorry. But we'll say hi real quick to the chat. Johnny is here, saying Sergeant Commenter
Hey, Johnny.
reporting for duty. Michael Jean Fleming is here. Good evening, y'all. Good evening to you. Peter Ray Bob saying hello all. The encyclopedia of everything is Pericles Dragon Ball Z. Kiwi here. Happy birthday to Kiwi.
Hey, happy
He's just
birthday,
turned
Kiwi.
21.
Happy birthday.
Birthday, Keith.
Stephen Hall here saying hey to Stephen. No, say hi to me. Don't say hi to you. Hi to me and just me. That's just a guys. This is just a hey for me. I'm happy to share it around if you guys want a piece of it. Space Commander is here. How are you, Spacey? Phil, good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello. Josiah with a yo. Maybe someone down here has the Joe. Dale is here. Hello, everybody. See, everyone gets this one. But I choose to read this in a Super Grover voice. So it's more like, hello, everybody. That's a pretty top-notch Super Grover. Kiwi coming in, spreading that birthday love by giving us a super sticker, $3.49. I'm going to put that sticker right on the fridge. I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe Gaz can use the Wayback Gaz machine and show us what that sticker is. And Joe Hunter 73 is here. As we've already decided, he has hunted successfully 73 G.I. Joes. We're going to look at some of your art now, Carl. And I got to say,
Awesome.
each and every one is absolutely superb. Now, I don't know if you sent them in a specific order, but they definitely didn't download in the same order that you gave them to me in.
Oh yeah, no
so
worries.
that's-
I just sent everything randomly, no specific order, but that's just a small portion of the work I've done. Those just happen to be some of my favorites that I've done over the past few years.
Wait a minute.
Perfect.
Sorry.
I do want to say the link for Kyle's Instagram is in the show notes. So please go check out that link after the show and go follow Kyle's work. In fact, I would say,
Check it out one time, won't you?
and I'm sure if you check it out once, you'll check it out more than twice. We'll start off with this one. Nate, do you know what vehicle is being displayed in the background there?
I do not, but it's awesome.
I'm gonna put me at the bottom, put Kyle at the top there, just so that we don't get covered up in the with the comments that come through. Gaz, can you call out if you know what this vehicle is?
Is that not the general?
Is it the general?
Yep, I believe it
I think
is.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think it's the
Kyle,
general.
let me ask the question. Are you a fan of G.I. Joe?
So I didn't really grow up as a huge fan, but this was, I believe, in the fall of 2021. I was brought on board by. Have you guys heard of Robert Atkinson? Or Robert Atkins? Sorry, he's a big name G.I. Joe artist, and he's been with Renegade Studios doing a lot of the iconic artwork for a long time. And so he
Gotcha.
actually brought me on initially to assist with keeping up with some deadlines. And then eventually I did more and more of the card art. And then at some point they had me do my first box cover piece, which was cool to do because I'd never really done a box cover piece before, which was the Sergeant Slaughter one that I sent along
Yes.
to you. And this was the last box cover I did about a year and a half ago for the I believe it was the deck building game Crimson Veil expansion.
Okay, that explains the Crimson Twins in the background there.
Yeah, a lot of red, a lot of crimson colors in this one.
You absolutely like nailed the Crimson Twins. They look like just perfectly punchable.
Thank you.
Sure.
You just want to.
You got to kind of feel for those Crimson Guard in the front, though. Like, they are vastly outnumbered.
Oh yeah,
I quite,
2 to 4,
I quite
not
like.
good odds.
Yeah, it's not good odds. I do like the Crimson Guards as a character or as a troop builder. I would say almost as much as Vipers. But this is a fantastic dynamic shot.
Thank you.
Were you given instruction on how they wanted it, or they just said these are some of the characters and you go ahead and make it come to life?
So the process usually involves starting with like a detailed prompt or description of what's going on in the scene, and then I take that and come up with a thumbnail sketch. Think of it as like a storyboard concept. And then I submit that, and then I'm given feedback on, like, for example, they might want something moved in the scene. Like, I remember for this one, I submitted the sketch, and the general wasn't really centered. It was more off to the right in the scene, but they wanted that vehicle centered because that is one of the main focuses of this expansion. And then, other small things like, shift these characters in the front a little bit to the right or the left. And, once all the tweaks are done to the sketch, then that's when I can move forward and proceed to details and cleaning up the line work and doing the colors. And I will say that vehicle, the General, was probably the trickiest vehicle I've ever drawn in my entire art career so far.
You've absolutely nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks so cool. But yeah, that's a lot of lines and a lot of light.
Yes, indeed.
And
yes, indeed.
Yeah. So same time, toys are saying I like how they're going to fight to the end, and I agree. and they're also a fan of the Sarge box, which one of my favorite pieces. I'm a huge Sergeant Slaughter fan, and we will get to some Sergeant Slaughter images soon. It took a lot not to bump it up to the front, but then this hour show would go way over if I put the Sarge in the front. What do you reckon, Gaz?
I think it's great. I like that the Crimson Guard are surrounded in the.
Yeah.
It just looks cool. It's like they're getting ready to fight their way out and maybe get their butt kicks. But I don't know. I think the Crimson Guard might kick their butt. But the General looks really good. If it is the General, did you have like obviously some reference photos of it, right? To draw.
Yes.
So actually, it's nice.
It would be a miracle if I could nail it with from memory. But yes, I was given plenty of reference photos, and sometimes I'll go and scour the internet and Google and I'll find references on my own, whatever I need just to get the job done.
A good reference source on the internet is 3D Joes. Love 3D Joes, and they sometimes have 360 rotating images, so you get a good view of all the action figures and the toys and the vehicles. Have you got a preference over drawing? And I'm no artist, so I don't know any of the technical terms, but do you have a preference over drawing people over machinery, or have you, which way would you rather? In that, we're losing everyone.
So I definitely love drawing people and different characters. Over time, I've gotten more accustomed to drawing complicated vehicles. If you guys don't know, I also do work for the Star Wars Unlimited card game, and
cool.
I've done a lot of vehicle work for that, and doing so over time has kind of gotten me more in that mindset of, I actually enjoy drawing complicated machinery or all these complex parts that make up a vehicle. But yeah, first and foremost, definitely enjoy drawing characters the most, though.
Oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah, characters are where it's at for as a G.I. Joe collector. Every character sort of has their own life to them and their own spirit. And the vehicles, as cool as they are, it's always been the characters for me. Let's move on to the next slide, as much as I could stare at this one for hours. And that goes for every image that we're about to show. If you have a good time here today, Kyle, maybe you will consider coming back and talking about some of your Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to, for sure.
So here we've got Serpentor and the Crimson Twins taking on Bazooka and I believe Rock and Roll. That is a dynamic piece. The lightning in the background, the explosions. Woo.
This is the cover for the, I believe, the Cobra Ascendant Mission Critical expansion.
Looks like Serpento's going to have a bad day with a bazooka to his face.
I don't know. He looks pretty happy to me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So Bazooka and Rock and Roll.
I love the Cobra banner just rising behind them. Like that's that's so
that
cool.
Is so cool.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, it has like I'm gonna say this. It has a Sunbow feel to it as well, doesn't it?
Oh, like very cartoony.
Yeah, I like it.
Josh is here. How are you, Josh? Joe Fan 84, that can either be, and we've discussed this before, it's either going to be that he has 84 G.I. Joes in his collection or he was born in 84. I do know that he had a birthday recently, so happy birthday. Everyone's having a birthday recently, except for me.
Yeah,
Mine's always at the tail end of the year. It's like every year someone's having a birthday. I like how Rock and Roll and Bazooka have brought their firepower, but the Crimson Twins and Serpentor are like, no, we've got this.
Yeah.
Hand to hand, we got this.
Who needs weapons? I love it.
Oh, it's so dynamic. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, this was a fun one to work on. I remember taking a bit of time to get the composition down and kind of solidify the character poses so that way it would all work together. That's always a challenge when you're planning out a piece or a cover or whatever it is. Just putting together a composition that flows nicely, especially when there's like this one, like multiple characters involved and they're in some action fighting scene like this. Always a challenge, but the end result's always worth the effort.
So you've got the athleticism of the Crimson Twins really working in their favor, and the menacing look of Serpentor. So you've nailed their characters. You can't go wrong with Bazooka and a Bazooka and Rock and Roll holding a machine gun. So that that perfect 10 out of 10 for those characteristics as well. But the Crimson Twins in particular here, I feel are quite dynamic.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next. How cool is this one?
Thank you. Yeah, this was a vehicle card. I forget for which mission critical expansion, but it was definitely a vehicle specific card that I did this for. I believe it's correct me if I'm wrong, the Defiance.
That's correct.
Yeah. Man, absolutely nailed this one. And I like that the on takeoff, it's spread out so much smoke and dust that everything else around it, except for the launch pad, is being completely smothered. Which, from I guess a design perspective, you're like, okay, everything is smoke and dust. You don't have to worry about anything underneath. But as a storytelling feature, I think it's fantastic. And I believe, now my eyes are old, but I believe those machine gun turrets or whatever is on the pad are also firing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was specific direction I was given by the art director to have that little feature in there.
I wonder what kind of battle's going on in that smoke.
Yeah,
exactly.
That is a good
It does
question.
bring out your imagination.
It's Space Commander.
Yeah, that's how he gets up there. Move on to the next. I love the mobile battle bunker.
This one was another very tricky one for sure. Not as hard as the general for the Crimson Veil cover, but this one was still tricky for sure.
I'm liking the environment, the rocks, the trees in the background.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Thank you.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I tried to give it the environment a little bit of a rough and rugged feel, and as you see, there's sparks flying as the vehicle's kind of running over the terrain full of rocks.
Yeah,
Makes the vehicle.
I feel
really
bad.
cool.
Yeah, it sure does. I feel bad for the guy underneath underneath the rockets there. But that's the same as the toy, though, right? There's a seat there inside the bunker, but he's also in there with all those rockets.
He's about to
Yeah,
have
I
a
believe I
bad
used one of those references when drawing this.
It's a crazy fun toy, though. Like, I love the toy.
Mhm.
As a concept, it's so wacky, though. Yeah, nailed it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm not sure if I brought this up, but it deserves to be seen again. It is. And if you think that's pretty, you wait until you see Gaz's favorite character soon. This one, I'm only vaguely familiar. I think this might have been a later G.I. Joe vehicle. I
I
definitely
believe it's
can't remember.
Quick Strike, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this one, but it looks great. It's got Bazooka in the gunner's chair, or the position. Sorry.
it's so cool. It's just cresting the dune as well. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love drawing this one. And that effect of the sand being kicked up as it's kind of getting some air off that hill.
yeah, that's
So
awesome.
good.
Yeah. That looks cool. There it is.
Oh, what is that one?
That's the quick strike.
That looks like the one.
That is quick strike.
Yeah, that's a quick strike. Like I found a
Here we
vehicle
are.
that I want to get now. Oh, look at that. It looks
Came
cool.
out in the Joe versus Cobra line in the 2000s, possibly 04 or 05. Yep.
Look at that.
Well, absolutely nailed it. I like the nice cloudy background. Could almost be peaceful if it wasn't for the in the forefront some
Right.
G.I. Joe action happening.
Mhm.
I like the shell casing trail. It's really cool as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Touch.
Wow, I want a nice photo. That's nice.
All right. Now, I'm trying to remember what this one's called.
It's like the X something,
hmm.
isn't it? X. I guess the supposed G.I. Joe expert.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's
Wilhelm's
Not
here.
coming to
Is it
me.
like the Ghost something, or is
No,
it the?
Not the Ghost Striker. It's like an X. It's like a Oh my God. Helicopter.
Someone will know. How are you, Will? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Will.
Bullshit.
Hadn't heard from Will in a while, so I reached out and go, "Hey, how you going, mate? Where you been? We miss you." Well, I do know the vehicle. I never owned it.
It is the
but I do
Sky.
know.
It is the Sky Storm.
that's
Yeah, nice.
I knew it. I
X-wing
knew it had the
helicopter.
word sky in it. I just couldn't
Yeah.
remember the rest of it. But yes, I believe that's it.
Ooh.
So from a technical perspective, then what kind of materials are you using when you're doing your art? Is some of it physical or is it digital?
It's 100% digital. I work both on my Wacom tablet, and then if I need to go mobile, I go onto my iPad Pro and use Clip Studio Paint on both devices. But yeah, everything's 100% digital. I draw right on the tablet screen, all the sketch phase, pencils, inks, and color.
Oh, wow.
There we go. We're
There's
going to
the
be here for the next 30 or 40 minutes now, just staring at this image. This is a this might have been, because I know this is on one of the boxes. This
Yeah,
might have been one of the
This is
first
the
images
first,
that I
box
saw.
cover I ever did for the G.I. Joe games.
It is
Wow,
so
that's
good.
So cool.
Thank you.
So we've got it's probably a G.I. Joe compound, or could even be the base. I'm not sure if those are Sky Strikers in the background or not,
I think they're
but we can imagine
those are Ghost Strikers. I think isn't that what they,
Ghost
they have
Strikers.
F-15 Eagles?
Well, whatever it is, it
Oh,
looks
Falcons.
great.
Falcons. Sorry.
And
F-16.
the perspective of Sarge towering over, like, you've still got so much real estate here. Obviously, you got to put the name of the game on there. You got to put all sorts of other text and so forth. But to have Sarge in such a prominent position, just it hits me. It's so good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one thing that I have to consider when planning out a piece or a composition is that, there's going to be text that covers this part or this part, which is why they give me templates to work with. So that way I know where to place everything, and I know not to have any important elements that will be eventually covered by the title or any other text elements.
Yeah, we'll be catching up with Sarge again at Joe Fest this year. I'll have to show him some of these pictures and go, check this out. Check this out one time. Have you spoken to many of the other creative artists from G.I. Joe, or in this case, Sergeant Slaughter, when it came to this sort of stuff, or was it mostly just your creative team?
Mostly just the creative team. And then, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, the guy who kind of brought me on board in the beginning with all this was Robert Atkins.
Yes.
He generously extended an offer to, help out with some of this stuff. And then it kind of just launched from there. And then eventually they kind of promoted me to doing some of the box covers, which I thought was a huge honor to do.
Man, we should lobby to have you at Joe Fest. We got to meet Adam Riches at Joe Fest a couple of years ago, and he did some of the art for the classified stuff. but I reckon you should get your own booth and set up some posters and sign some stuff. This is all great stuff.
Thank you.
Any GI Joe collector would love to have these posters or images up on their wall. This one particularly would be great.
Mhm.
Are you able to sign these things and in that way, or would they put a stop to it and go, this is our work, you can't be signing it and
Well,
sending
if,
it out?
if I was at like a live event, for example, like, you know, doing art signings, and somebody brought the box cover for one of these, you know, I would of course be able to sign it. No problem.
Cool. All
I'm
right,
actually
Kyle, we're
still
going to lobby
waiting
for you to
to,
be at the next Joe Fest.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see all of the stuff I've done like out in the wild. I even to this day I haven't really seen any of it on shelves in stores, but one of these days I'm sure.
Yeah,
I saw some of it available online, but I definitely haven't seen anything here locally. All right,
Yeah,
if I don't
all
move
these
off
are
of this, I
available
never
on
will.
the Renegade Studios website.
Ah, look at this. Another perfect image. All right, 20 more minutes on this picture and then we'll move on. Now, anyone that doesn't like the Triple T as a vehicle needs to just look at this image, and it proves how awesome the Triple T really is. You've really captured that. See, I think the real power behind the Triple T is having Sarge front and center, right, as like a human battering ram. Like, he doesn't need a cover, he doesn't need a windshield, he doesn't need any of that. He's the muscle being driven forward by another mechanical piece of muscle. Obviously, I'm a real big fan. I don't know if you could tell, but and I love the lines that simulates that he's moving very fast, as well as kicking up that dust in the front. This is spot on. And I will say, I appreciate your artistic choice to sort of tilt it, not having it straight on. Which again,
yeah,
I
that's
don't
always
know
a
the technical
fun
terms,
decision
but
to make. It just adds a little bit more of a dynamic angle to what would otherwise be, you know, something very like flat, if you will. But
right.
I found sometimes when you tilt the whole composition, it really just enhances the piece that much more. Especially when it's some action shot like this, you know, with a vehicle coming right towards the viewer, giving it a little bit of a tilt, you know, the horizon line of tilt really levels it up more.
This is Joe Fan's right. This is right before he jumps off and beats up all those bats and Rise of Pentagon.
I
This is great.
I can tell you, if I saw this coming for me, I would need a fresh change of trousers. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Anyone know what this vehicle is? Seems a bit obscure. Yeah. All right. Move on before I don't ever move on. General Hawk, I believe.
Nice.
Yep, I remember this one. Very, very fun piece to do. This was in the Specialist Pack expansion, I believe, included in that one.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and you've absolutely nailed this one as well. What I feel is, and don't let me talk over you, fellas. If you got something to say, please stop me because I won't shut up. But what I like about this one is that even with if you took away that epic background that you have there, and just had like lines or whatever, this would still be a very dynamic picture. But the background adds to the action of it all. Like, what's in front of him? Like, who is he going after? Where is he running from? Where is he running to?
Yeah, kind of all up to the viewer to interpret.
Oh, we got a fan in Kiwi. My main man, General Hawk. Oh yeah. All right. Good stuff. And everyone's favorite lady.
Lady J. Yep.
It's the classified Lady J.
It is. You can tell by the hat.
It's a real fun, dynamic angle to draw this piece in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she looks like she's having fun there.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Kind of like a takeoff of the old the jump jet set. You know, with the little with the platform, but obviously a larger platform and stuff. That looks really good. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the next slides now. both of these next slides, guys, you're gonna like. But
right.
we'll start with this one.
Ooh.
Woo-wee.
Zorana, I believe.
Oh yeah, there she is.
Gaz knows.
Yeah, yeah. That's my girl. You gotta like the bad girls.
Hans will be pleased with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And used to
Hans,
the
another great
or-
artist.
yes, used to that weapon getting through that wall.
So, the spinning end on it.
Mm.
I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that weapon, but I don't know about maybe being on the receiving end of. Anyway, moving on. So Zorana, you've absolutely nailed this one, and I like how you've incorporated that weaponry into the she's coming into the picture by creating this hole here, and Gaz actually got to meet the voice artist for
Voice actress,
Zorana.
yeah.
Oh wow,
Voice actress.
nice. That's
Very
awesome.
pleasant woman.
So for Gaz's safety, we'll move on. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you. This is for the
Duke.
flag expansion, or
Nice.
sorry, scratch that. Not an expansion. Is for one of the deck building game expansion sets.
Oh, look at that. Now I'm going to go on the deep end. I'm looking Resolute. That has to be dial tone next to the Admiral.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I
like,
believe
is that-
that is on the far left? Mhm.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. They incorporated the Resolute into the game. That's pretty neat.
So awesome.
That is cool.
Like,
I'm
And
saying
as a
so
Duke
much
fan,
That's a great Duke.
Thank you.
so with Cobra Commander and Destro, you get a little bit more range as far as face. I mean, even though it's got a metal mask, or is it the metal face for Resolute? Either way, you get a little bit more freedom when it comes to expression. Cobra Commander is a static helmet, but the way you've tilted it to make it look more menacing, looking down on the G.I. Joe, I think is a great creative choice.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Now look at now that all right. Now that you've drawn dial tone, I'm gonna say version like 3, right? Or I don't know how many versions of dial tone came out, and it figures like 3 or 4.
So there was a dial
game.
tone. There was dial tone 1, dial tone the one. Was there a Mission Brazil dial tone? No, there was a. Was there?
Sonic,
I don't think there was.
Sonic Fighters one, wasn't there?
There's definitely a
that's the
Sonic
black
Fighters one.
I actually didn't know there were multiple versions, so this
Yeah.
is.
Well, I'm
news
just
to me.
like I want to see that as a figure now, because I remember seeing it in the film and in the movie Resolute, the movie, which is an anime. I don't know if you've seen it, Kyle. It's an
have
animated
not, no.
movie. It's I think it's like 50 something minutes long.
Mhm.
Kind of like picks up where Sunbow, the original Sunbow cartoon, left off, sort of.
Yeah,
But
they killed Bazooka.
they put a little more serious spin on it, but it's really good. And some of the character design choices that they chose for the characters in the film were really cool. Like Duke, obviously this is almost like a classic Duke with like the mustardy shirt and the green pants. It's like the classic Duke. These other the newer version had sort of like a body armor on, right? More realistic, a little more realism. And then they chose, for some of the characters, they chose alternate versions of them. So instead of dial tone looking like a World War II, like a British soldier, he had like a sweater vest on with a beret and stuff.
Yes.
They went with the female version, and she was like a computer expert. So she's always behind the computer on the flag itself. Now seeing that, I'm like, I kind of want to see this in like action figure form, right?
Well, they did make a modern era version of this figure in a 5-pack back when they were doing the 25th style, and it came with I think it came with Law and Order as well, probably a Duke. It definitely came in a 5-pack. I can't remember exactly who else was in there, but I like that this is a mix of. There we go. We had Tiger Force, Sonic Fighter, and Brazil dial time. Kids wouldn't know what a dial tone is these days, but so originally, Kyle, so you know what we're talking about, dial tone was a male character until Resolute, and then they made it a female character.
Yeah.
Right, got it. Did not know that either.
He tries.
How are you, Dros? Good to see you, buddy. All
I
right.
was trying to think of what Duke reminds me of there, and I'm like, and it suddenly hit me. If you recolored him, he would look a lot like Major Chip Hazard from Small Soldiers.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I reckon that's probably who they were modeling that after, like a Duke
Yeah,
type.
true. Yeah, that's
it's
probably
more of a Dirty Dozen. I think they model the characters off of, but yeah, I can see that. There it is, the Ghost Striker.
Yeah.
All
Can
right,
I
this
just-
one's a Ghost Striker.
Can I just say Iron Eagle, baby? That's Doug Masters.
Is
AKA
it?
Cobra. Yeah. What a cool
Man of
jet.
Action's here saying Dalton is dressed like an SAS team leader.
Thank you.
I'd follow
yeah.
her into battle. Yeah, this is great. Again, one of those. It would be very easy to make it look static, but you've given it the angles, the speed lines, the action, the propelling rockets. How do they know exactly how to put the speed on their rockets versus the speed of the jet? Right? It's like, what if you're going the exact same speed as a rocket's going to go, and you fire the rockets, but they're with you.
you slow down. That's what
Right.
You slow down for the rockets. Gotcha.
Yeah, you're right. That I never thought of it like that. I guess it just kind of comes naturally when I'm drawing a piece.
No, I find it interesting that they chose to go with the Ghost Striker as opposed to the Sky Striker, which is an F-14 Tomcat, right? Because that's like the main. That's like when you think GI Joe as a Joe fan and talking vehicles, it's either this or the Conquest X30 that people talk about, right? Ghost Striker.
Yeah,
I didn't even
true.
know. I didn't even be honest with you till a couple of years ago when another channel called Joeberg had done a review on this. I never knew this existed. And
Yeah, I
think
wasn't
it's
too
really
familiar.
cool that-
Not really a fan favorite or one of the popular jets. Then.
It obviously came in later in the line. I think this was in the 90s, right?
Mhm.
It came out in the 90s, but yeah,
Yeah, everyone knows the Sky Striker inside and out, so it's nice to get some of the other jets get the spotlight. And this one's definitely been spotlit.
Yeah,
All right.
16.
Now, how cool is this shot?
Dude.
That's awesome.
Sorry, dude. Flint and Lady J.
Flint, yes. The team up, everyone loves. And at least when it comes to Lady J and Flint, like there's no third person in the mix, right? You don't have to worry about the whole Duke Scarlet Snake
Well-
Eye situation.
Shipwreck tried to insert himself into this relationship, didn't he?
Well, Shipwreck would put himself into any relationship. He tried to put himself in between the law and order. Yeah. Anyway, this is great. This is fantastic.
Excellent.
And you have him shooting with his left hand, which is the way he's
Right, yes.
shown in on his card art for the actual original action figure. He holds a shotgun.
Oh,
with his-
okay. I actually didn't know that. That was just kind of, felt like a right decision to make. But good to know I got that down.
Yeah,
Yeah, you nailed it.
Realizing it.
Well, at least he's not fraternizing with the enemy.
that's true enough.
But yeah, they both look equally tough. It's nice that Lady J has a firearm. I like the whole spear thing and the harpoon thing and all of that cool stuff that she came with. But I think I much prefer her with a firearm when it comes to fighting Cobra.
I just like Flint's code of taking cover behind the bollard there, but she's just like
Yeah.
upright step. Okay.
You got the shotgun. I'm standing up.
And it's not just the explosions in the background. The grass has caught fire. Like there's
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some serious carnage
There's a
going
lot
on here.
going on. That's so
in the
awesome.
scene.
and it does push your imagination out of cameras. Like who's on the other side of this? Like how bad has it got?
Oh, you know that's a squad of Vipers coming at him. No,
Yeah,
it
gotta
is.
be. All right.
Nice.
Next is
Oh,
now. What am I looking at?
Oh gosh.
Oh,
I forget the name of this one off the top of my head.
I do not know what this one
What's
is.
this one again?
Like, it looks great. Don't
Yeah,
get me
it
wrong,
does.
but I am not familiar with this this vehicle. I can't really point at who. It looks like Slice in the
Yeah, it
gunner's
does, right?
chair,
Yeah,
but-
that is Slice in the driver's seat.
Oh, okay. Thank gosh.
Someone will chime in and be
Sounds
like,
like
oh,
Yes.
I know that.
Mad Max vehicle.
I'm
That's
sure.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
The desert scenery, the bellowing dust in the background, and great use of motion. I think this is another top notch, whatever it is, but it does look great.
And yet another vehicle with the driver like right at the front with no protection.
Well, I think he's a gunner, right? He's
People,
not a
people ask
driver.
why. It's because it's badass. That's why.
Yeah, that's right.
Good enough reason.
It's not just a driver or a gunner; it's a ninja.
That's right. Yeah, someone let us know. Someone let us know what this is.
I do not know what that one is.
Another cool image of Flint.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I like this one. It's like
Mm,
in the thick of the jungle.
it's so
it's like
atmospheric.
Rain.
He's like, Lady J,
Oh,
where'd you
it's
go?
there you go. It's the Cobra Parasite.
Cobra Parasite.
Seconded
Yeah.
by
Parasite,
Space
that
Commander. Yeah, another top-notch image of Flint.
Thank
I think when it comes to Duke and Flint, I love Duke, but Flint's obviously the tough guy out of the two.
Mhm.
I'm just.
I think
I'm just
Duke's a
looking-
great leader, but
Hey, Duke's a tough guy.
I'm
Right?
just looking.
all
at
right,
the
sorry,
background.
all right.
I think I just like his shotgun. I don't know what it was. I like drawing the shotgun just because it's not a typical looking shotgun model by any means. It's very
Sure,
just
yeah.
bulky and
All right.
boxy. Has those, the
So you,
shotgun shells housed in the back in a row. I think it's a cool design. That's probably why
Well,
I enjoyed
it's-
drawing it.
this is the classified look because he has like the tack vest. He has like the plate on his chest, and I think, and then obviously the shotgun itself is the classified one, which got a lot of flack from a lot of people, right? Because it's a breach.
I thought it looked great.
I thought it looked cool for what it is, but I do like
Well-
the look, and I like it's like a modern take of the original figure, and it still has the original design in it, which makes it looks even cooler. So I think it's great. And this is the Parasite
Yeah.
right here.
Oh, hang on, let
Oh,
me
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's the Parasite.
let me solo
there.
you for a second. Of course,
Oh, yeah.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
That's
enough.
a cool.
And you made it look cooler than I think it really is.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree. You definitely made it cooler.
I appreciate it.
That last picture, it made me.
Sorry.
All that puts in my head is like what's about to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yes.
gonna look around and there'll be 3 little red dots on his chest.
Yes.
No, that's actually that's a cool idea. I should have wonder if I would have been allowed to add that, but didn't think of it at the time.
I think Flint versus the Predator. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That looks cool. I like this photo. This one's good. Oh,
Nice.
So this is
Kapow!
from the Sergeant Slaughter expansion.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's
So
really
is he single-handedly protecting a GI Joe base, or is he single-handedly infiltrating a Cobra base?
If I remember correctly, I think it's a Cobra base in the background.
I'm thinking that he's
Gotcha.
already done what he needs to do in the Cobra base. And
Yeah.
he's making his way out.
He's taking care of a few
Just wait.
stragglers on his way out. Yeah.
just punching one more Cobra for good
Yeah,
measure. on
that's-
it.
The Cobra Trooper was like, look, you're already making your escape. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can just go. And he's like, no.
There was a perfectly empty open gate 20 yards that way, but no, he saw the one.
A likely explanation.
I love it. Have you
Oh,
ever
yeah,
have you ever thought about Like,
It's so
have you ever
badass.
done any comic book work, Kyle?
I actually, I have done some comics in the past, mostly indie stuff.
Yeah.
But recently I've decided to kind of take a step back from that and just focus on doing one-off pieces or single pieces like this. I'm a dad now, and now that I have a family, a growing family, it's important to find balance. And comics just take a lot of time and effort. And for the time being, it's I think important for me to just focus on not getting burned out, essentially.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
All right. If I don't move on from this one, I never will.
That reminds me, like that
Working on
Sarge,
this one.
that image of Sarge reminds me a lot of like the the product placements that they used to have back in the 80s. Like your shampoo
true.
bottles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like napkins and stuff like that. Like it's something that you would see on that, which brings a like you do those good feelings. Like you see that like party set with the G.I. Joe cups and stuff, and this right there on like the cup.
Well, see, Kyle, you've done a great job when you bring nostalgia feelings to G.I. Joe collectors from a new piece of Joe art.
Yeah.
I'm honored to hear that. Thank you.
No.
And
Where's
that is a great
Ryan?
Zartan.
Where's Ryan?
Yeah,
This is
Ryan would
weird.
love this.
I like it.
So Zartan, I think retroactively was the real killer when it came to the the Soft Master or the
Silent Master, I believe.
Silent Master? Now with your Happy Meal.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great image. The explosion in the background, he's shooting off his arrow.
Right. Oh, and he also, I think he took out Serpentor with an arrow too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in the Civil War, right? He ended it, I think, with an arrow to. Or yeah.
But for me, as a G.I. Joe collector, I didn't really read the comics as much. I read them a little bit, but not like overly, not every month. Not when I had Spider-Man and Hulk and Captain America and all of those other Marvel comics. Some of them fell by the wayside. I still enjoyed the toys, but I didn't need the comics. So for me, Zartan wasn't really an archer. He was just the master of disguise. But I know that this tickles a lot of comic book fans in that way. And I think this is also possibly a Resolute inspired.
I think so, a little bit, yeah.
But yeah, he looks great. And there's no mistaking. Sorry, Kyle?
Saying glad you guys dig it. This I remember having a blast, literally a blast. No pun intended. Working on this.
I always saw. I think this is what I get from this image. Okay, this is just me. I always felt, I'm gonna say as a kid. Now that I'm as an older collector, and I think about what characters do in the G.I. Joe world, like what they are in the background, and him being the master of disguise, it's cool, like infiltrator. But I also see him as completely as a ninja. And I know there's a lot of ninjas in G.I. Joe, but if you think about it, because he's also an assassin, right? He's an assassin. He does what he needs to do, right? And it just makes sense. And the way he looks, that's like that's a little bit of a ninja look to me, right? He's got the guards, and it just looks good. And with the bow and arrow added to that, even though the figure didn't really have it, I think it works. It works because he would know how to use any kind of weapon completely. So yeah, I think this works. And I like it.
And he is a ninja. Well, it makes sense to make him a ninja, right? I think it makes more sense to make Zartan a ninja than it does to make Commando Snake Eyes a ninja. I always liked Snake Eyes more as the commando than the ninja, but demolition expert as well. Well, you know what? He's a jack of all trades, and I imagine as being a master of disguise, you would have to be a jack of all trades, because the first thing that might give you away is not knowing the whatever it is that you're trying to impersonate. You don't know their set of skills.
Well, it also feeds into the Tej.
Hey, Tej.
It also feeds into the hatred between himself and Firefly.
Yes,
they're both mercenaries for hire, so they would. Have
you ever seen those two together at the same time, though?
Yeah, right. That's true. That's true. And it's hard to believe he's got an orange mohawk under that helmet, under that hood.
This image here. Sorry to interrupt you, Nate, but This image
That's
here is in my top 3 of all the images. Other than Sarge, all of those Sarges are in the top 1. And I was like, oh man, I almost wanted to lead with this one too. Like it just would have had to do some shuffling. Ended up being somewhere here, but still great. And I believe that must be, is that ripcord or
That's
airborne?
ripcord. Yeah. And the classified trooper with the goggles.
Right. Yes.
Which I think is a great look. Is a great look for them to make them look just like menacing and yeah, this is cool.
I like you can see where he's disturbed the cloud. Like
yes,
he's fallen through the cloud, and it's just
and
how unlucky for that one Cobra trooper that he was standing right there.
And how bold that he
opened up the heavens.
It's like it's a bold move for how badass Ripcord is that he's using a red and white parachute instead of like a camel parachute.
Yeah.
And that Cobra, even with those cool goggles, man, couldn't see that.
He's hurting. He's hurting underneath that mask.
Just imagine that look under that mask.
Right.
Oh,
so he just deploys the parachute at the last second because the Cobra's going to break his fall anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. What a cool figure.
We've got Beachhead looking fantastic
with that crazy gun they came out with classified. Oh.
Sweet.
If they didn't come out green, I would have liked it more. I painted mine black, but yeah, what a cool figure. What a good look.
Yeah, this I think was one of the first cards that I drew for one of the expansions, the Mission Critical expansion packs.
Beachhead's a great figure, great character.
Well, speaking of great characters, back to Zorana.
Zorana.
Sorry, Ripcord. But you beat up my Cobra troopers.
That's all right. At first, I thought that was his arm flying off.
Luke Skywalker style.
Now that you mention that, I can see how it might appear that way at a first glance, but thankfully not.
Well, they've moved their hand out of the way just in time because that would have been right where his hand was, right?
Yeah.
You know what she's saying to Ripcord right there. She's like, "How dare you punch Gaz in the head?"
Yeah, that's what. All right, we've got less than 10 minutes to get through 10 more slides, and I want to we'll do a quick run through just so we can get a little bit more time with Kyle. Road Pig looking badass.
Look at that patrol car. That is neat.
That is an awesome picture.
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Road Pig.
I like the backgrounds too. It just adds to it. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kablam!
Look at that.
That's
like the chainmail underneath his shoulder pads. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried to make this one have as much impact as possible.
Well, you nailed that. He's
like
impacted his way almost out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would definitely make a great supervillain.
Does lend himself to comics, wouldn't it? Yeah. This is who is this guy? Kind of reminds me of like
General Flag.
All right.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm getting like Space Commando like this. I'm getting like Action Man, not Action Man. Was that one Captain Scarlet vibes from this?
Oh yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Phantom Power Podcast is here. I've never been more scared of a cinder block. Right?
Oh, this is nice.
This hot seat?
Oh,
maybe?
I believe that's Major Storm piloting the. So yeah, this was from the Crimson Veil expansion.
Oh, that is cool.
That's cool.
The inside of
that is cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you don't often see like detail on the inside of vehicles like that.
Oh, look at that!
And that's the same character.
Yes.
So that's inside the general.
Yeah. Well, what I was given some references, but surprisingly, it was tricky finding any really detailed references of the interior cockpits. So I pretty much just went with the basic shape of the walls and the ceiling, but then all the other details I kind of just came up with on the fly. Just what I thought would look
that's
cool.
so cool.
I like that.
Yeah, looks great.
Thanks.
It's a little bit sci-fi, a little bit militaristic. Why am I struggling with that word? Anyway, but this is fantastic. This is like near the end of the battle and sort of like a victory pose.
Yeah,
Mhm. Absolutely.
crazy cool. Oh, there's my boy. That's my boy.
So that's a Sky Striker
That's Slipstream.
with Slipstream in the pilot seat.
Oh, he definitely
This
can
was
fly
the F-14 jet you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, and Slipstream, which I think would look a lot better than Ace with his
Yeah.
inside anyway. It's great. Oh, Duke about to
That
kick
is
some
sick.
butt. That's what
Now
I'm
is
talking about.
Storm Shadow with or against Duke?
With, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's,
That was I believe that was the prompt I was given.
Oh, that's
Gotcha.
cool. I like this. Is probably one of my top favorites so far.
Man, how cool are Crimson Guard? They're just
It's
so
so
weird.
cool.
They are cool characters. I do love the design of the outfit.
Wow, Weasel, Hawk with bats in the
Bats.
background. With
Yeah, this
science.
is the specialist pack expansion cover art I did.
That's freaking
How are you,
awesome.
Grayson?
Hey, Grayson.
Great. That looks really good.
So this would look cool with just the bats as an image.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the bats too, but having Wild Weasel and Hawk in the front give it that you got a standoff happening, but you've also got this menacing presence pushing their way through.
Mhm.
I'm liking the one bat with the dual fires.
Yeah, yeah.
Flamethrowers going at the same
Nice.
time.
Storm of the Bat. Oh, yeah, aka Red Wolf.
Right.
And that's fair point, Kiwi. One more image, and the
Ooh.
Barracuda.
Yep.
Ooh, Barracuda.
I built this toy.
That's cool.
Anyway, yeah,
That
that
is
is
really
great.
cool.
Thank you.
And I always like the Barracuda. I know it gets a little bit of hate, but I think it's a great little bathtub toy. Like when you're a kid,
Oh, yeah.
we didn't have fun
Yeah.
with this thing.
How many
Yeah.
subs did you get anyway in G.I. Joe?
Not many.
And
If
they're
any.
all on, except for the shark. They're all on Cobra's side, right?
Exactly.
Mm.
So, Kyle, thank you for letting us go through some of your art.
Oh, absolutely.
It took longer than I thought to go through 30 slides. But where can people find you? I do have the links in the description, but where else can they find you?
Well, in addition to Instagram, I'm also on Facebook, Kyle Petchock Art, and Twitter. Gosh, I can't think of my handle off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm sure if you search Kyle Petchock Art, you'll find me there. And I'm also on Behance as well, which is an art community platform online similar to DeviantArt. So I'm also on there as well. And while severely outdated, I do have my own website as well, www.kylepetchockart.com. That I definitely need to hop on there and update that some.
Do you do commission work?
I do, yes. Yes. If anyone's interested in a commission, I can be reached by email. I don't know if you included that in the description or not, but
I've got your Instagram in the description. I can add the email. It is great
Instagram's
art.
fine. I check my DMs often, so anyone that's interested in a commission can shoot me a DM, and as long as I have availability in my schedule, then we can make it happen.
I'd like to see Crocmaster versus Sergeant Slaughter.
I'd like
We
to
might
see
have to-
that image of the Triple T with Sarge driving at us Ford
Yeah.
with the Zazel drone on top.
Gaz would like to see Zorana in a wedding dress with someone who looks
With
suspiciously
Gaz.
like Gaz next to her.
Some good ideas.
You dress me like Duke. Yeah, right.
I actually have
Well,
done
if
that
you want.
before. If someone were to say, "Could you draw me as my favorite comic book character?" I have done that in the past.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think you've got enough brush strokes to put my beard on any
Oh,
sort of imagery.
I'm sure that he could do
I
that.
could make it happen. I could.
That's why I'm going under the I'm going under the name Grizzly Zazel at the moment, mostly because I think it's been maybe a year since I've gone and given myself a haircut or anything. I've been all over the place. But check out Kyle. Link is in the description. If you've enjoyed this show, do leave a like. Go and check out Kyle's Instagram, because there's a lot of great stuff. Some of the stuff that we didn't get to today, it's all there. And it's not just G.I. Joe stuff as much as we love it. Like you said, there's some Star Wars stuff there. There's a lot of different things. Do please...
Check it out one time, won't you?
And yeah, and Adam's finally showing up right at the tail end of the show. Thanks, Adam. So we're going to jump over to our next stream now. We're going to be shooting the we're talking about movies. But we want to say thanks again, Kyle. Sorry, it was a bit of a whirlwind hour.
No worries at all. I really appreciate the invite to come on the show. Thank you guys so much. Really enjoyed talking about some of these pieces I've done.
Well, I'll hit you up again soon about the Star Wars stuff.
Absolutely. With that, there is a new card set for that game coming out this July. The 5th set of the game. So yeah, just hit me up whenever you feel like having me back on, and I'd be happy to do so, or arrange a time to do so.
Perfect. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually do some homework for a change and look into that game. So I've got a little bit more knowledge about it. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Do stay tuned though. We're going to come back right after the break to do Shoot the with Gaz. Thanks, Gaz, for joining us. Nate, thanks as always. And Kyle, thank you for being a tremendous guest.
Of course. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, wait.
Great to meet you.
Quick question from Shannon. Are you doing the Ninja Turtles game?
I am not at the moment. But who knows what could happen in the future. You know, if an opportunity were to come about, I would certainly not say no. I love taking on new stuff. Like with the G.I. Joe art, you know, as I mentioned in the beginning, I wasn't much of a fan growing up, but I was given the opportunity and it looked like a fun avenue to test my skills in, so I took it.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I agree. I think your style would mix well with just about any genre.
Yes.
But with that, we'll say our goodbyes and we'll see you on the next one.
Take care, guys. Thank you again.